Hi, my name is Lyric, and today we are going to be reacting to the truth about Bronny James playing in the NBA by the legendary NBA YouTuber Jxmyhighroller. So before we get into this video, I do want to preface something that this week is the last week of NBA videos, reaction videos being on this channel. After this week, all NBA reaction videos will be moving to the Lyric Reacts NBA channel, link in the description below. And also I have a channel for original NBA content that I make called Lyric Rumbles NBA. Link is also in the description below for that. So of course, there's recently about the 2024 NBA draft that happened, where the Lakers selected Bronny James with their second round pick, 55th pick in the draft. So LeBron James and Bronny are now the second ever father-son duo to play in the NBA together, other than of course Luka Doncic and Devin Booker. And they're the first duo to play on the same team, of course, father and son, which is going to create a lot of odd interactions. I would feel like I don't even know what the interactions would be. The dynamic of having your own son on the team or having your own dad play on the team. But so a lot of people were going at Bronny because of his summer league performance. He was really bad in summer league, but I never really take summer league into account that really when I'm kind of predict how good a player will be, because there have been tons of players that have been ass in summer league. Jaylen Brown, Trae Young even Victor Wembanyama wasn't really good in summer league, and of course he had a fantastic rookie season. And Jaylen Brown, Finals MVP, Trae Young, fantastic player. So I don't really take summer league into account. Sometimes people will play great and end up playing terrible in the NBA. Sometimes people will play like shit and end up being great in the NBA. So I never really take summer league into account. So I'm waiting to see what he actually does in the NBA, because I think people are definitely putting too high expectations on him for someone who's the 55th pick. Like, who else is the 55th pick that people expect to be like a really good player off the bat? But we're going to get into this, and put your opinions below. What you think about Bronny being in the NBA? Do you think it's been a nepotism? Do you think he doesn't deserve to be in the NBA or anything? And we'll see about what's going to go on here by Jxmyhighroller. Obviously, go make sure to watch the original video first, or put it on in a different tab in the background or something so he gets the view. And let's get into this. Make sure to subscribe to Jxmyhighroller and subscribe to this channel. We're trying to get to 2,000 subs, and you're trying to get to 100 subs on the Lyric Reacts NBA channel, and try to get this video to 10 likes or something, so more people will be able to see it. If you like my content, you want more people to see it. So let's just get into it.
With the 2024 NBA draft in the books, there is one major discussion that has dominated the NBA space over the last week. It isn't about the #1 overall pick. It isn't about the...
Dude, the #1 overall pick is not getting talked about at all. He might be the least talked about #1 overall pick in NBA history. I've literally never heard a single person even bring him up since the draft. It's actually insane. Bronny is being put up a million times more than the first overall fucking pick.
The outlook of these teams going into next season, it's about a late second-round pick. And for good reason, because his name is LeBron James. And he's going to play in the NBA with LeBron James. It's a weird and unprecedented circumstance.
Dude. The jerseys of James Sr. and James Jr. are gonna go so fucking hard if you have them in the collection. Dude, this is gonna be I know there's gonna be a hard ass picture that's gonna happen once the NBA season starts, of them standing next to each other with the James Sr. and James Jr. jerseys. Hoo.
The NBA has never encountered before. A player who many fans consider to be the greatest of all time, playing in the NBA with his own son. A story so strange, you'd think the NBA scriptwriters outsourced their work to ChatGPT, picked the most batshit result, and called it a day. But after
Some
years
2K
of
shit.
speculation, we now know with certainty that Bronny James will be an NBA player.
It's crazy that it's actually happening.
Criticism of his merits and value as a future player in the...
I'm really concerned to see how much LeBron's gonna play for, because this seems like what he was kind of playing towards. He's just kind of playing so he can eventually get the chance to play with his son. But I don't know how much longer LeBron's going to play now. Maybe 1 or 2 more seasons. Maybe this could be we're getting very near the end, it feels like, of LeBron's career.
NBA have already came pouring in. Scouts and GMs claiming Bronny as a prospect isn't even worth using a late second-round pick on, and that the real value lies in his last name and the leverage it comes with. But how valuable is a second-round pick, really? And is Bronny a legitimate NBA player, or is he only in conversation solely because of who his dad is?
Let's see, man. We're going to look at some stats or something here.
Bronny is #1.
Always with Jimmy. You really look at stats.
I gotta be on the floor with Bronny.
It's got to be Yeah, this has gotta be one of the greatest storylines. I think LeBron has the greatest storyline in NBA history. Just you come straight out of high school as the chosen one, the one who will save the Cleveland Cavaliers franchise and be the greatest player of all time. You come out, you become one of the greatest players at such a young age. You lead them to the finals after an incredible performance against the Pistons, 25 straight points, and then you fail, and you're at the bottom of your hero's journey, and then you leave to go to the Heat. You become the villain. You choke against the Mavericks, but then you become dominant. You win back-to-back championships, and then you leave the Heat, and then you become the hero again. You resolve yourself, going back to the Cavs, and you bring them their first championship in franchise history, coming back down 3-1 against the. You come back down 3-1 against the most winning team of all time, with the only unanimous MVP in NBA history, with an iconic block at the end after having back-to-back 41-point games to bring your franchise the first championship, one of the most dominant, potentially the greatest Finals MVP of all time. Then they form a super team, a villainous team around you. So you have to go against them for 2 straight finals, and you have to carry the team on your back, have this heroic moments in the 2018 playoffs, and then you go to the Lakers for your epilogue. You win a championship there, and you become the Hollywood star, and you start getting your longevity records. You break the all-time scoring record while playing for the team of the same guy that also broke the all-time scoring record. You join the Olympics. You become the Dream Team. You make a third version of the Dream Team, and then at the very end, you get to play with your own son on your own team that you raised while you were in the NBA playing. Like, I'm telling you, LeBron has the greatest storyline of any NBA player of all time, and it's not really all that close. Like, it's insane. It's literally like a scripted storyline. It's insane.
Today's video is sponsored by SeatGeek.
We'll let the SeatGeek sponsor play through because I'm using your video.
Favorite artists are on tour, and y'all are gonna need some tickets. Now, you guys have used my promo code so much that SeatGeek wanted to hook you up with a new promo and a new special offer, and it's the best one yet. For the rest of the season, everyone who uses code Jimmy10 will get 10% off any tickets on SeatGeek. Whether you're new to the app or you've been using it for years like me, code Jimmy10 is good for 10% off any order on SeatGeek. Just get into the app, find the best tickets for you by using their color-coded seating map, punch in the promo code, and you're done. Take advantage of this deal while it's still around. Download the SeatGeek app and use code Jimmy10 for 10% off any order. This is Ken Griffey, former Major Leaguer and 3-time All-Star.
Yeah, same thing happened in
Ken
MLB.
Griffey Jr., son of Ken Griffey. And in 1990,
I know about this because I don't know much about baseball, but I do know because of the secret base Seattle Mariners documentary. One of the greatest videos on YouTube. If you've not seen it and you're even if you're not a fan of baseball, you can still watch it and it's still fantastic. Secret base Seattle Mariners documentary. One of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. It's one of the greatest YouTube videos of all time. It's actually insane.
these two did one of the coolest things a father and son can possibly do. They played in the MLB together. And when
That's
I say
sick.
together,
So sick.
I don't just mean they played in the MLB at the same time. They were on the same team. In fact, they weren't just on the same team, they shared the same outfield with each other. It's probably the rarest and
Crazy.
most badass thing you'll ever see in sports. Making it to the big leagues is one thing, but playing in the big leagues next to your kid is a club exclusive to only these two. And if that wasn't incredible enough, on September 14th, 1990, the Griffeys pulled off something that you will never see
Oh
again
shit.
in your lifetime.
Oh shit. Back-to-back home runs from the father-son duo. Oh shit. This is just... You have to feel so proud as a father, being able to not only make your MLB career this far, and then do it with your son, that also becomes an MLB player. Like, this has got to be one of the craziest feelings of all time.
Great, and they were the first and only father-son duo in the history of Major League Baseball. But they weren't the first father-son duo in professional sports. This is Gordie Howe, one of the greatest players to ever touch the ice.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Stanley Cups,
That's one of them.
6 MVPs, held the NHL record for total career points at the time of his retirement, and is a member of the NHL's 100th anniversary team. Gordie had an incredible pro career as a hockey player, And yet, out of all of his accomplishments, the coolest thing he ever did was this. This is
Two?
Mark and Marty Howe, Gordy's sons.
That's crazy.
And he played professional
That's so
hockey with
crazy.
them in both the WHA and the NHL for 5 seasons.
That's so
Now,
crazy.
if you're
2 of
thinking,
them.
That guy looks a little old to be playing professional sports. You're right. Gordy began his career in the NHL in 1946 when he was just 18 years old. By the time he retired for good, he was 51. A career that
51.
stretched from the 1940s
Oh my god.
to the 1980s.
Dude, 34 seasons. That's actually so... The 40s. This guy started his career right after World War II and his career in the 80s. That's actually so fucking nuts. Do you guys think LeBron could do that if he really wanted to? Like, if he really wanted to. Like, even at, like, coming off the bench as a role player, could play till he's 51. He honestly probably could. Let's be real. If he just decides that he's gonna play as long as he possibly can, down to the point where he's just like a bench player, you know, he could probably play till he's like 51. Let's be real here. I honestly think so.
And only with a career like this can a player even have a shot at playing in the league together with their son. Why exactly am I talking about home runs and Gordie Howe? Well, because they're awesome, but also because of these two and what they're about to accomplish in their own sport. LeBron and Bronny James.
It's such a rare thing because the dad has to be such a good player that he plays an insane amount of times, has have such longevity, and have a son that's good enough to play in the league. And of course, it's even rare for those two to end up on the same team. So yeah, the chance that this has actually happened is just such a miracle. It's so crazy.
Who are on track to being the first father
Prince
and
James.
son duo to
Have
play
they called him
together
that yet?
in
They should
the
call him
NBA.
that. Prince
An
James.
idea that seemed far-fetched when LeBron first mentioned it years ago, but has now become a reality. But how legitimate is Bronny's spot in the league? And is the backlash towards the Lakers selecting him with a second-round pick in the draft warranted?
I don't think
To
so.
answer this question,
Because even if he doesn't work out, he was the 55th pick. How often do you really get a good player with the 55th pick? I mean, a lot of players in the second round, they don't even end up playing a game in the NBA. So obviously there can be really good players in the second round. You know, Nikola Jokic, but you know, it's not like that big of a risk. I don't think at the 55th pick, and it makes your superstar happy. So, and it's gonna sell a lot of tickets too. Let's be real here. Get a lot of attention. So I don't think it was a bad choice at all by the Lakers, personally.
we first need to know just how good Bronny is as a prospect and as an incoming NBA player. Right now, NBA
He also was doing a lot better before he literally had a cardiac arrest. So it's like I don't think it's like, oh, he's done for. I think he's gonna get better. He got set back because he literally had a cardiac arrest. So
Draft.net has Bronny rated at an 88 overall across their 12 prospect metrics. This overall rating puts Bronny on the lower end of all second-round picks and future prospects. over the
Isaiah
last
Mobley,
3
oof.
years,
No one
but
talks about
well within range
nepotism with him though. Isaiah Mobley.
of your typical mid to late first rounder. Now, here are Bronny's numbers during his 1 season of college basketball.
Yeah,
5
not great,
points,
to say the least.
3 rebounds, and 2 assists a game on
Real not good.
47, 30, 69% shooting splits. Now, these numbers, especially from a relatively undersized guard, do not scream NBA potential. But for perspective, here are the average collegiate stats from every late second-round pick that played college basketball
Ugh.
over the last 5 years. And even when compared to late
Yeah.
second-round picks, Bronny's
Not great.
numbers aren't
Not
nearly
great.
as impressive. In fact, Bronny is arguably the least productive college prospect in NBA history.
That's
Here's a list
crazy.
of every
That's
player
crazy,
in the
actually.
entire history of the NBA to be selected in the first 2 rounds of the draft
Uh-oh.
that averaged less than 5 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists a game in college.
Oh no. Oh no. Is it just gonna be him? Oh no, we have some.
And that's it.
What are the other ones? Do I know any of them? Probably not, because they're ass. Rubber Dust? No, I don't know. No, I don't know.
And that's it. Just 3 players who were selected in the
Who?
NBA draft with college numbers
And they're
equal
tall.
to
That's why they were
less than
chosen.
Bronny's college numbers. Pair that with the fact that
Hey.
these prospects had at
How did this guy get picked, dude? 0.8 points on 29% true shooting, 1 minute per game. What the hell? He's 6'11". That's probably why they just chosen. Oh, let's pick a 6'11" guy. And the other guy's 7 minutes a game.
at at least the benefit of having NBA frames and physical tools to be potentially built off of, and the case for Bronny warranting a pick in the NBA draft becomes more and more difficult to make. But to really demonstrate exactly where Bronny falls amongst other second-round picks, here is a chart of every college basketball player selected in the second round of the draft over the last 10 years, with box plus minus on the x-axis and minutes per game on the y-axis. 298 selections spanning 10 drafts. More than half of these players not even in the NBA today. Where's Bronny?
I don't know.
He's right here. Most late draft picks.
There's some players worse than him though. Some worse.
Were first or maybe second options in their college program. Bronny, on the other hand, was an undersized rotational player on a sub 500 team. It doesn't take an NBA scout.
Yeah, it's not looking great, man. It's not looking great.
Wasn't that of your typical second round draft pick.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's denying that there's definite nepotism happening.
With the rise of second-round sleepers in recent history, most notably players like Nikola Jokic, Jalen Brunson, Herb Jones, and Jordan Clarkson, the potential value of a second-round pick in the NBA draft is about as high as it's ever been. With the help of advanced metrics, the curtain has been pulled back on the value even a solid role player can provide to a winning team. Prospect scouting has gotten more comprehensive than ever before, and these second-round picks have held considerable weight within recent trades around the NBA. But how valuable does that truly make them? Gathered from 10 years worth of draft classes from 2013 to 2022, data shows that on average, out of the 30 players drafted in the second round, about 6 of them won't even suit up in the NBA.
Right, that's what I was saying.
1 in every 5 players selected in the second round.
Yeah, so it's not big of a risk. Because you could have chosen a guy who wouldn't even end up in the NBA, and then LeBron's pissed that you didn't select his son.
About 17 of them end up playing a second season in the NBA. Of those 17 players that are good enough to stick around for more than a few seasons, only about 8 of them will go on to be a role player or rotational level. Yeah,
it wasn't that big of a risk. That's why I was saying it was good. Especially these numbers get worse if you just go not only the entire second round, but only get like to 55th to 60th pick. Like it's not like. Yeah, it wasn't a big risk at all. Even though he definitely didn't deserve from just his college stats to make the NBA, it wasn't a big risk at all. And I think he could, you never know. He could potentially become a good player, but he's just, make LeBron happy, sell some tickets. Even if you're just trying to do that, even if you don't actually think he's going to be a good player at all, it's still not a big risk.
Average, only 4 of these second-round picks will become a starting caliber player in their career. That's about 1 in every 8 players selected in the second round. And finally, of the 298 players selected in the second round of the draft, from 2013 to 2022, only 2 of them became all-stars.
That's crazy.
Nikola Jokic and Jalen Brunson.
2 in the last 10 years,
the last 10 years of second-round picks on a scale of box plus minus, with Nikola Jokic being on one end, and the players who don't even make a roster on
highest career BPM of all time, yeah.
Aren't in the middle. In fact, they're not even close. Most second-round picks fall way down here. Somewhere in between what Basketball Reference would classify as an end-of-the-bench player and out of the league. When considering how to use a second-round pick, the idea of drafting a guy who ends up being a
Spencer Dinwiddie, Maverick
player,
now.
A starter,
Let's go.
Or even
once
a
again.
future MVP, the perceived opportunity cost can tend to outweigh the actual value of the pick. Drafting a player of this caliber in the second round is like finding a diamond in the rough. But giving away a pick or a potential player that ends up being of this caliber would be a mistake that no front office wants to live with. But that doesn't change the fact that the vast majority of the time, these second-round picks in the NBA draft go on to be these end-of-the-bench level players. Just out of curiosity, does anyone know who the last few 55th overall picks in the draft were and how
exactly.
Last year's 55th
That's why I don't understand people are like saying that it was such a horrible pick, because it's like, well, do you pay attention to any other 55th pick when they get selected that's not Bronny? No, it's just because it's Bronny, you don't like LeBron, that you're going after it.
The NBA. The one before that has played 23 games in 2 seasons. The 55th pick in 2020.
He's pretty good, Aaron Wiggins.
Is actually having himself a solid career so far. But the one before him is out
not Jay Scrub.
The one before that one
Kyle Guy.
Also out of the league. He's also out of the league, out of the league, out of the league, was never in the league, out of the league, and out of the league. As a late second rounder, if Bronny can contribute on any level in the NBA, he has already exceeded his draft value. And that's really the
Yeah.
proposition in all of this.
If he has like
It would
one
be
20-point game,
incredible if Bronny
you know.
developed into a Davion Mitchell or Aaron Holiday caliber player. But the reality is if Bronny can provide any net positive value to his team, then
Yeah.
selecting him in
If he
the
does
draft
anything good,
will have been a
then
good
it's worth
pick.
it. Then it's worth it.
There
Yeah.
has never been a player projected to go this late in the draft with any expectations on what they should or will do in the league.
That's true.
These
That's
late
true.
draft picks have historically been reserved for players who might have been.
So it's kind of a double-edged sword because he's LeBron's son, that's why he got picked. He would not have gotten picked if he wasn't LeBron's son. But also, because he's LeBron's son, now he got picked. He has this huge expectations on him that no other player drafted to his position has ever gotten. So it's like, it's kind of a double-edged sword here. It got him into the league, but it's also putting these like, ridiculous expectations on him that no other player that is anywhere near his level has ever gotten.
Overlooked. Players who maybe underperform their potential at the collegiate level. Players who organizations are willing to roll the dice on because there's virtually no opportunity costs associated with late second-round picks. It's all upside at this point in the draft. If they don't work out, well, that's typical. If they do work out, well, then they've beaten the odds.
Yeah.
And the very
Very low risk, high reward.
Talk about potential and value to the team and X's and O's. LeBron James has the opportunity to play basketball with his kid in the NBA.
Yeah, come on now. Stop being lame. It's sick that this is happening.
Nepotism. A classic case of
Yeah.
it's who you know, not what you know. But nepotism
Hey,
has
it is what it
been
is.
rampant in the NBA for decades, and no one cared. Countless players, coaches, executives, owners who got their shot with far less merit than Bronny has. But now here we are sitting around
Facts.
talking about the integrity of a man who's played 21 seasons in the league and his son because they made the most of an otherwise paltry 55th pick in the draft, and the nepotism leaned in their favor this time around. We can criticize this decision all we want, preach about how this move was a breach of ethics, a slap in the face of the game we love. But then we would all
Get out of here, man. Get out of here.
there isn't a man
It's
on
sick.
earth who would pass up on the
If you're gonna complain about this, I don't understand you, man. It's sick, dude. Come on, you're telling me it's not sick that this guy gets to play in the NBA with his own son? Come on now, man. This guy's he's going into his 22nd season, dude. He ties the record for the most seasons played in NBA history next year. He's gonna be 40 years old. All-time leading scorer in NBA history, arguably the greatest player of all time, is probably going to lead the USA to a gold medal this year. Like, I don't understand how you don't love this storyline here. I mean, it's just, you're just a hater at this point if you don't love the storyline. Okay, I don't think LeBron's the greatest player of all time, but I love the storyline. I love the storyline, and I think it's so sick.
the chance to play in the NBA with his son, even if it meant pulling a few strings to make it happen. As much as Bronny benefits from sharing the same last name as arguably the best basketball player of all time, that tag has also came with equal scrutiny. We have never seen a late second-round pick get discussed and limelighted.
So,
like
yeah,
we've
this
seen with
is what I was talking about earlier.
We've also never seen a late second-round flyer get completely dissected and criticized like this. LeBron and Bronny have a chance to do something that has never been done in the history of the NBA.
These compilations are so sick
It's worth more than any late
of seeing him with Bronny when he was so young. So yeah, that was a great video by Jxmyhighroller there. A really good deconstruction of the risk reward with picking Bronny, and that was mainly the part of the video of was it worth it to pick Bronny, and I agree with him that it really was worth it because it's not really any risk being taken at all. So yeah, so that was a great video by Jxmyhighroller. So yeah, remember all NBA reaction videos will be moving to the Lyric Reacts NBA channel, so go subscribe to that. Make sure to like this video and everything. So yeah, for more NBA content. So. Yeah, fantastic video by Jxmyhighroller. I'll see you next time. Bye.